So tonight's main topic. Tonight we'll be discussing all three of our main sections: political insight, overrunner, and confession story time. So we're getting a three in one in our meeting today. If you haven't gotten in a while, awesome. So misogyny versus misandry. How can we prevent it? We're going to present you with some information, some effects, some impacts of what these things are, and then we're going to discuss measures that we could implement in its prevention. Okay? You can acknowledge me. I'm just like let me one scene.
Okay, okay.
Okay, great. All right, getting into it now. So, definition. Misandry refers to the hatred, contempt, or prejudice against men or boys based on their gender. It involves the belief that men are inferior to women and should be treated with, with disdain or hostility. Misogyny refers to the hatred, contempt, or prejudice against women or girls based on their gender. Involves the opposite. It involves the belief that women are inferior to men, should be treated with disdain or hostility. So let's look at the historical context. So these terms have origins in their study of gender and power dynamics. Misandry emerged as a response to the historical oppression and discrimination faced by women. However, misogyny has deep roots in patriarchal systems that have perpetuated the subordination of women. So let's look at some of the differences. So, I see my screen clearly? Right. So, misogyny targets women or girls, while misandry, oh, I didn't mean it that way. My apologies. All right. So, differences has historically been proven prevalent and systematic, is often embedded in systematic power imbalances, has hindered men's overall progress and social standing, and opposite can be said for misandry, target men or boys, has historically been proven to be less prevalent compared to misogyny, is often seen as an individual act of hatred. Misandry, although harmful, has generally not hindered men's overall progress and social standing. So some of the similarities include both involve prejudice and discrimination based on gender. Both perpetuate harmful stereotypes and biases. Both can lead to marginalization, exclusion, and unequal opportunities for individuals based on their gender. Both hinder efforts to achieve gender equality and social progress. The prevalence and impact. The impact on individuals. Misogyny and misandry, said it opposite way, can have significant impact on individual self-esteem, mental health, and overall well-being. Men experiencing misandry may face feelings of emasculation, marginalization, and a sense of being devalued. Women experiencing misogyny may face feelings of inferiority, objectification, and a sense of being silenced or oppressed. Some of the impacts that we notice on relationships, misandry, they can strain relationships, including romantic partnerships, friendships, and family dynamics. So, prejudice based on gender can create power imbalances, communication difficulties, and perpetuate harmful dynamics. So, it is important to address this bias to foster healthy and equitable relationships. And then, looking at communities, the impact it has on our communities. So they can shape societal attitudes, behaviors, and power structures. These prejudices can contribute to gender equality, limit opportunities for individuals, and perpetuate harmful stereotypes. Addressing these biases is crucial for creating inclusive and equitable communities. So some of the stereotypes and bias that both of them face. When you're looking at misogyny, you have women are emotionally irrational. How many times have you heard that statement? Women are weak and need protection. Women are weak and need protection. Women are only valuable for their physical appearance. Trophy wife? Okay. Men are emotionally detached and unfeeling. Men have no emotion. How many times have we heard that? Men are always strong and invulnerable. Always strong, invulnerable. You have no room for weakness? Because that's what the stereotype is saying. Men are incapable of nurturing and caring for others. But that, again, one of the stereotypes and bias. So the portrayal in media and popular culture. Let's take a look. Women often depicted as passive, submissive, and in need of male validation. Kind of goes back to the stereotype of needing protection. Women portrayed as overly sexualized objects of desire. Kind of goes back to the bias of objectification. You're only valuable as long as you're physically appealing. Women often limited to stereotypical roles such as the damsel in distress or the supportive girlfriend. You want to save the world? I'll support you. Men often depicted as strong, dominant, and aggressive action heroes. Again, no room for being invulnerable. Always strong, always the protector. Back to that same stereotype. Men are portrayed as emotional, inaccessible, or hyper masculine. Men often objectified and portrayed as sexual objects. All right, so the manifestation and effects. The examples of these manifestations and effects in the workplace. So, misandry can manifest in situations where men are excluded from certain jobs or opportunities based solely on their gender. How many times or how often you see male nurses? Think about it. How often we see male nurses? They exist, but how often? Misogyny can manifest in pay disparities, sexual harassment, and the underrepresentation of women in leadership positions. Underrepresentation of women in leadership positions. Examples in politics. Misandry can manifest in the dismissal of men's issues and experiences, like mental health. How often do they actually pay attention to mental health? How often? Misogyny can manifest in the sexist treatment and scrutiny of female politicians and the limited representation of women in political decision making. We continue. In media, so these manifestations and effects in media. Misandry can manifest in the portrayal of men as incompetent or bumbling in sitcoms and commercials. How often you're watching TV series or even cartoons and the dads or the fathers or the males look, they're the silly, stupid one, as portrayed on the media. Misogyny can manifest in the objectification and sexualization of women in advertisements and movies. Typically, you see women in movies or advertisements, it has a certain kind of appeal. So, the effects. Mental health. So, these can contribute to mental health issues such as depression, anxiety, low self-esteem in individuals targeted by these prejudice. Self-esteem can negatively impact the self-esteem and confidence of individuals, leading to feelings of inadequacy, self-doubt, well-being. Can create hostile environments affecting the overall well-being and sense of safety for individuals targeted by these prejudice. We're continuing from this. The title is wrong, so my apologies. It's still on the effects. Gender equality. So they can perpetuate unequal power dynamics between genders, hindering efforts to achieve gender equality in various spheres of life. Social progress can create division and hinder collaborative efforts to build inclusive and equitable societies, impeding social progress. Some of these things we see repeating. They're all interconnected and intertwined. Empowerment. Limit individuals' ability to fully express themselves and reach their potential, hindering personal and societal empowerment. So, those are some of the main points that we have shared. Again, we're going back to how can we implement preventative measures? Why are these two things bad? Tell us some examples that you've seen in your day-to-day life where these things have been portrayed or have impacted certain situations. All right? I'm going to open the floor based on raise of hands. Let's talk. Let's hear what we're all thinking. Let's talk. Raise your hands, raise your hands, raise your hands. Don't all raise your hands at once.
With the friend on the day.
Yeah, man. All right, Danique, go ahead and take the floor.
Good night, everyone. My suggestion as it relates to preventing misandry and misogyny, I think it starts with socialization, because a lot of this outlook comes from how children see parents, people in their communities, school, society interacting with each other. And so they grow up thinking that this is the correct way to behave and then start behaving in that way. So in order to prevent that, it has to start with how we are socialized.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Maybe I should stir the pot. Do you think Andrew Tate is one of those persons that wrongly represent in the media and feed into this notion? One of the contributing persons. Go ahead, Shamir.
I just go raise my hand. I say, partially because I've seen him say some things where, like, it makes sense. Majority of what I'm saying is very, contradicting and in love controversy and all these things. But when it comes to how men are supposed to have, even though people want to say certain societal rules not in place or whatever, there are things that men can do that women cannot do, and there are certain things that women cannot, men cannot do, and that's where the balance comes in. So there are things that men should do and things that women should do. So there are sometimes when you would have certain views that would say, okay, you can't have your children being exposed to certain things and then expect that you're going to have a good family life and stuff like that. So yeah, for the most part, I'm controversial and I don't agree, but one and two times he says something makes sense.
Okay,
That's
thank you for sharing. Based on what we've spoken about today in today's presentation, what are some of the stereotypes that are normalized in society? For example, women need protection. Just reminding you of some of them. Women need protection. Men are unfeeling. Men cannot show weakness. They need to be protectors. Women their own women's value come from their appearance. What are some of these stereotypes we have we think society has or is slowly normalizing? Go ahead, Denny. Go ahead, Denny, and then Shamir.
One thing I think society has normalized, based on the fact that thinking that women are um destined to be caregivers and nurturers. Well, actually, it's two things that I've seen. The first one is when a relationship ends and children are involved, it's automatically assumed that the mother will take the children and become the custodial parent. That's one. And two, um, if in a family with adult children, even if the oldest children are boys, usually when the parents become older or unable to care for themselves, it's the girls who are expected to do the caregiving.
Thank you very much for sharing. Shamir, go ahead.
as it relates to the woman needing protection, it is a stereotype, but it is true. I remember seeing this clip that said if women needed if men were they asked women the question, if men should cease to exist, who would protect them? And the woman answered, protect from what? Because women main predator is men, right? So when it comes to a man dealing with a man, that is equal ground. And you, if our right, generalizing here, so nobody attack me. So the enemy is the man. You as a female is not an equal to fight him. So when you get um when it comes to protection, a man is there for that and he's naturally inclined to protect. Right? Them have if you should put the average male and average female together, the man is going to win. The man is the stronger sex, whether we like to admit it or not. If we should be stronger, we have to put out extra effort and go beyond what is natural to be strong. And so yeah, women do need protecting. I'm gonna say that has been much of a problem. It's just that it reached a point where society sees that as offensive. Oh, why should I need me want protection? Me with my little self, I want it, right? Because you have this thing where say it's not all men, but you don't know which men. So who exactly are gonna protect us from these men? I remember somebody say, um, in the Jeffrey Dahmer case, how gay men biggest problem would be men, but women's biggest problem are men, right? All one gay man if you do just switch off him switch and he's on equal footing and all of that. If you're in a relationship and a man decides to flip on the female, that is that. When it comes to the other part now about men, guess it's something about being invulnerable and not showing emotion. That's it, right? Jay? Jay?
Yes.
But I think it's a case that they should not. It's just that based on how society is showing emotion is a sign of weakness. And because women are the weaker sex and it is a trait associated with women, then um, men probably feel as if me show weak, if me show any sign of emotion, you're weak, right? And then it comes back to the whole protection thing because they think that they should be protectors. Well, the right one because they think that they should be protectors. Them no want show any sign of weakness to other men because most of the time a man them a try impress. Face star not on a we and a man them a try impress. So yeah, that's my 2 cents.
Don't go far from here. I'll take you on. Ready? All right. So first thing you have to ask her is, you said that
Yes, I'm good.
men protect women. What I'm trying to understand is, All of us are going to be damsel in distress. If there's no man to come to your rescue, you can't rescue yourself. I'm asking.
And then I said damsel in distress, but we can't fight all of the battles to ourselves.
No, but even so, if they can't fight all the battles for yourself, doesn't necessarily mean that a man is going to be a savior. Your friend could be a savior and she's a female. Your family, if you can't fight all the battles alone, doesn't necessarily mean it has to be a man that's going to
Yeah.
save you.
When I'm talk about protection, I usually with physical altercations. Look the amount of times like females that get attacked in a halfway tree by other men. If one next man did stand up, I know because them are damsel in distress, it just naturally unless you have weapons or other things with you, you're not seen as a threat. People you will get attacked by other men. But if a man is supposed to stand up and say, okay, so that's not right though. And that's also it is. Look how much time we see videos and stuff
But you
like
don't
that.
think you're feeding the stereotype again? Because yes, if somebody, male or female, if somebody stands up for you and lends a hand to lead, great. But then to say women need protection from men, it begs the question to say, oh, women can't protect themselves. So if push come to shove, you need to protect yourself. You're going to be defensive because they don't have a man. Like at that present moment, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah, look at the cases of women being victimized. It's simply because them can't protect themselves because it's not like them willingly be victims. And it's not in the case of as I know like emotional battles and stuff like that.
But
Like
I mean, if you're going to look at it like that, you have cases where men are victimized by women, sometimes even unalived by women.
yes, but in those cases it's not because the female needs a protection better. So you're saying men need protection. But not some men need protection at all. But in the case where females kill men or get victimized by means like with domestic abuse and stuff, most of them something they lead back to mental but mental whatever them are going through. Some of them mentally complicit now. And not challenged, but them go through a lot of things that affect them mentally, which is why I bring up the example of average male and average female.
But
Because
then it
another
also, which I want, like, if a male can comment on as well, right? Knowing that these things happen, men are human beings just like women, right? So just like when we drop down a lick on and we put a earth we, them put a earth them too. So how do we normalize the stereotype of like men being emotionless? And then how again it leads back to the effects, the mental health, the self-esteem, all those things.
all right. So
So
first
stereotypes would we start feeding into all.
mhm. So you did say something about how feeding into the stereotype and stuff. And how many stereotypes, not all of them are bad. And the thing is, most stereotypes come from some speck of truth.
So what about the
But
one
it,
that a woman's value comes from her physical appearance?
me,
That
me not
comes
touch
from
that.
some truth.
Me not touch that. Be
Just the one
like
that
some
have
heathen
the
part.
truth and which one now have no truth?
That's why I say some of them because even the stereotype about how black people love chicken. You know what people take offense to that? But on a lie,
Black people love
most
what?
black people love chicken.
Most persons love chicken.
Most black people remember I said it's not that it's a lie, it's just that where it come from a watermelon. It's a thing about what was affordable in the time where when that alone black people could afford, right? So they because they force fed a certain thing, it naturally becomes something where them have to love. So it's not that it's a lie, but it's still a stereotype. A lot of black people not even like watermelon. But when I say the whole emotionless thing with men, I think then it did say how men are socialized to not show emotion because it's a sign of weakness, and then women are um naturally handle their emotions better because for whatever reason. One, a how them socialized, two, a how they naturally wired. If you realize women are more them emotionally strong compared to men. Because women go through 12, 13 heartbreak and lose so much fitness and they're fine. Them find a way to climb back out of it or whatnot. And you hear man talk about who but the man from 30 years ago. How them can't do this and them can't do that. Because them just not emotionally at a place and that is where like a lot of the times men need women because them provide help with the emotional support that's needed, or even teach them some things. A lot of times women come across and be like, oh, you know, say you teach me something or whatever. So yeah, it's not that thing of, and then a lot of men, them not emotionless, them just hide it. And then when them battle it up now, they will like come out, them kill somebody or box them somebody or something. So I mean, I alone I got talk with 14 people there. J Ellis,
Well,
Yes, I used to that.
the reason I say Flames, Fernando, basically missing out because I
Yeah,
can
eat up the
relate to this topic
conversation.
personally.
You better eat up the conversation. That's all me know. The present. So what's happening to the rest of the members? We have two more sections. Is this how silent we're going to be? You need me to start calling names?
I will be vocal in the other section.
We'll speak on
I'm
the other
working on
section.
yes, I'm working on something right now. And
No problem. Lowell, what's going on? Asta Sharni, nice to see you.
all right,
Gretchen,
me can say
welcome.
something
Mm-hmm.
else
Go ahead.
because Mr. something at the chat with the needs to it. So bring back something to mind. Um, when you say how, when you say how female females are valued based off of them physical appearance. The thing is, sometimes women are like that's how it is, but it's a thing where men value sex, women value stability, whether it be financial or whatever, right? Kind of time I see some pretty girls and ugly men, I wonder how this end up so. But it's a thing where because men value sex so much and women have that power over that particular thing, then pay attention to the power. In a sense, they would be the ones to create like kind of feed what am I say tease men into valuing their appearance because then hold the power over what men value, right? And then come on, make sure so me not tie up my words because I have a way of explaining things. Hold on. And
I feel
then
like this is a
men,
very complex topic.
huh?
I was saying I feel like this is a very complex, entertaining topic.
Yeah, and then men, women value stability, and men have the power over what women value. Because a lot of the times, a man will take up a man will look good and have sexual appeal, and a woman will take up a man will have the stability and the money what you need to make a proper life, right? So even though, as I say, each stereotype have something where to come from what cause it to be a stereotype like that. Kind of men supposed to be the general belief is men supposed to be the warriors and women supposed to be the nurturers and caregivers and all of that whatnot. So yeah, that makes about that.
Me hear you and me a process and I'm just there. I say, boy, Flames is not here, but Flames is here.
In speaking through you, or speaking through
Speaking
me.
through you, because some of the stuff you're saying, I'm like, if Flames was here, it'd be like, I would shake your hand.
But
Yeah.
no one no shake hand.